police report was originally filed 10/29/19 and was faxed by Officer Sobish at Southeast Division to Detective Cantrell. The last date of its filing was 11/5/2020. The circumstances surrounding this is on a phone call on my page that you can listen to. So if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do so. This is the police report. My name is Eddie Walker Jr. From March 26, 1990 until February 6, 2014, I was incarcerated. See Discharge Paper Exhibit A. In 2006, I started communicating with my Uncle Charles Patrick Blunt, who was living in my house, or my family home at the time. As my parole hearing drew near, I wanted him to prepare to move. Out of anger, Charles informed me of the state of the family and the turmoil it was in, specifically about his sister, Cindy Blunt. See Prison Letters, Exhibit B. Starting in 5/11/06, the following stood out to me. These will be listed from letters A through K, starting with A. Cindy was pregnant with her second child and was, I quote, out for herself. B. My father's mental state had gotten worse. C. My brother was speculated to be in a mental hospital. He was violent, a drunkard, and out of control. D. My dad was admitted to the hospital on 10/14/06. Cindy was there. E. On Tuesday, 10/17/06, Cindy informed Charles, quote, he has very little time left. That day, she called CMC State Prison to tell me that news, and that she would need a power of attorney to access an account to cover what insurance didn't. F. On 10/27/06, Cindy called the prison to inform me of my father's death. Charles wrote me and sent me an obituary and told me about what Cindy had done to me, my brother, and her parents. G. She had taken all of her father's funds from his account, acquired the insurance money, and maxed out all of his credit cards. H. Cindy and her mother decided to put my father's house in their name. I. Cindy forged my name and my brother's name. His mother had a stroke and Simeon was running her affairs. On the last 2 pages of Charles's letters, they spoke of Cindy's relationship with my father as follows. J. She cannot be trusted. That was a quote. Charles states that Cindy contacted me in prison regarding my dad's house because, quote, she thought she could get something out of the deal. K. Charles states, quote, she fucked over Eddie. Cindy and Simeon would not even let him stay with them. End of quote. Connecting the dots in my proof. I paroled 2/6/14 from Chuckawalla State Prison in Blythe, California. Simeon and my late cousin Nathaniel Jackson picked me up. Simeon told me that he has been keeping up my father's insurance policy on me since he died, and until I got employment, he would continue to pay him. That policy was not my original policy, and all of the dates, signatures, and filings happened subsequent to my parole grant. See Insurance Policy Exhibit C. My brother Donald paroled from prison to my house. I took care of him out of my pocket until I could establish his Social Security. Neither Cindy or Simeon claimed they had his paperwork, and I gave up. We applied for GR. A tax statement of Donald's SSI earnings came to my house by mistake, showing he had received over $4,000 the beginning of the year 2019. Cindy had filed for his benefits under a bogus Social Security number. I discovered his real Social Security number on his parole papers and contacted the bank to receive a transactions printout for the prior year, which showed that Cindy had been investing, shopping, traveling, and simply living off of the benefits even as Donald had been incarcerated. This information was assigned to Detective Guillory at Commercial Crimes Division in April. See Police Report Screening Form, Investigative Report D. Donald's mental health counselor was very instrumental in this process and left me his number to be a witness regarding his dealings with Cindy Blunt. The number was listed in the report. Milestones, AB 109 counselor. The bank staff who filed a federal inquiry into Cindy's transactions name is Myra at the Watts 103rd Street branch. A complaint was also filed with Social Security to investigate. One day while sitting with my Uncle Simeon Blunt, he boasted on hiding money in his mother's bank account from social services so that he didn't have to pay child support. He would he would convert the earnings of his landscaping into cashier's checks and deposit them, avoiding federal red flags by stashing it in quarters in mason jars. I purchased a copy of my grandmother's death certificate and reported it to the bank, Chase in Watts, showing she had been dead since 2007. The banker informed me that the account was closed in April of 2018. See Esther Lee Blunt death certificate, Exhibit E. When I combed through the documents I had been given by Cindy, I found that my Social Security number and my father's Social Security number were the same. Further investigations allowed me to acquire a Social Security benefits request made by my father applying for benefits for me. There I found his real Social Security number and returned to the cemetery to show them what had happened. I was told that Cindy Blunt is over my father's affairs and that it was prearranged this way by him and that I would need her approval, Exhibit F. Though I was physically alive, they need court order to change the status. I am dead and alive. She switched our Social Security numbers. When I came home, Cindy provided me with a jacket, pants, and shoes that belonged to my father. He died in a shelter, and the property tag was in his pocket with $5. Also was an envelope with a document, City Personal Wealth Management. I couldn't believe that Cindy was with her mother, had kept my father's death a secret, and was banking, investing, and living as him, while denying he had a dependent. See City Personal Wealth Documents, Exhibit G. As all of this became clear, I spoke with Simeon and told him what I knew. As stated in the restraining order, Simeon knew I was correct and tried to bait me in his yard to shoot me. At the temporary restraining order hearing, Mr. Blunt rambled on regarding these issues, thinking those claims were before the court. Not only did he confirm them, he used we and us as the accused and boldly told the judge he can't prove it though. His fear at being the only one under oath made him call Cindy as a witness, not for the threat assessment, but answer about those insurance policies. She acknowledged who I was and our relations, which went totally against her claims under my father's transactions. The people in the court were speechless, and during the recess, I was advised to subpoena the hearing record. I was told it was as good as a smoking gun. In conclusion, I want to state that a particular person informed me that when Cindy Blunt attached my Social Security number to the body of my dad, and it immediately canceled out the power of attorney because she declared me dead. Until a judicial review is conducted, I am dead and alive, and a complication in the system. Now, that was the conclusion of this police report. In the next report, I will list what I've discovered regarding the circumstances of each death, what happened, who I spoke with, and that report will also be posted. If you've noticed, I'm broadcasting these publicly, and if they're not true, I would see a comment from Cindy in the comment section. As a matter of fact, if somebody was accusing me of this, I'd be in an uproar. But I'm just here to say one thing. Cindy Blunt, you picked the wrong fight this time, because people are going to see you for who you are, and I'm not going to stop until I see you with that look on your face that you got right now getting in the back of a police car.